because that was how I felt as a teenager and young adult, and adult as well. That sort of and that goes back to my love of sort of classic monster movies, where the monsters are actually more emotional characters, and they may look a certain way, but inside they have a whole other emotional thing going on. So that's probably one of the more personal ones for me.
But autobiographical in many ways, wasn't it? I think you've said that you went through a period where you didn't want to touch anyone, you didn't want to be touched.
Yeah, I felt very flinched, because again, not coming from a very tactile family, I had a lot of Italian friends, and you'd see the Italian, their families always hugging each other and kissing each other, and I didn't really have that in my background. So if somebody came and tried to hug me, I would kind of flinch, or just wasn't used to that sort of tactile behavior. So again, that sort of where Edward Scissorhands came from.
When you showed Johnny Depp your Scissorhand drawings, he said that he was traumatised by them, haunted by them. They obviously influenced how he came to see the role. Have you found that effective, communicating with your actors through the drawings?
Well, some. I mean, because my drawings are not very sophisticated, so I've always been lucky to work with certain collaborators that can just look at something not very complicated or crude and get the feeling of it, and because that's why I don't do storyboards of it. It's like when somebody can look at something and it be crude and rough, but get the essence and feeling of it, that I know is a good collaborator for me. Somebody that gets it.
It's out of here is history. In a 5-run inning and blow this game to pieces.
I'll be darned.
That's why I wanted him for Edward Scissorhands, because I remember him, he was like a teen idol at that time, kind of the sort of equivalent to like the Twilight people, but he didn't feel that way, and that's why I knew that I just had the sense that he would get Edward Scissorhands, don't judge a book by its cover kind of a issue, and it would get emotion of that character, and he likes to, he's much less a movie star than he is more of a weird character actor, like a Boris Karloff or old horror movie actor, that likes to transform themselves into other characters. And so there's that connection with him that I really appreciate.
You once said, and I think again it was in that Rolling Stone article, that you talked about depression that's always hung over you at some level or another. Now that was back in 1992. Is that still the case? And how has it affected your work, or how has it been affected by your work?
Yeah, well, I feel sort of like a, optimistic pessimist, or a happy manic depressive. I do have, as everybody does, their mood swings and things, but I feel like I've leveled out a bit since also having children. That's sort of leveled me out a little more, I think. But those feelings that you have early on in your life, I think they always remain with you. No matter how secure or happy you are in your life, that those feelings that you had early on stay with you.
You talked once of a kind of darkening grey, like a fog rolling in that was getting darker as it came. I mean, can you just articulate for me what that can be like for you? Because there's a lot of people out there who suffer depression and who feel there's something wrong with them for feeling it.
The key is to try to come out of yourself a little bit, and when those feelings come, when those feelings come on or came on, after a while I could recognize it, and I think that's when what I try to do is just sort of mentally kind of step out of myself a little bit and go, okay, here it comes, acknowledge it, and know that it's coming, sort of then the fog roll through, as fog does, and so I think I've learned to try to acknowledge it and just let it come and pass, and usually, thankfully, it does.
So, have you just tended to take life as it comes? You've had no grand plan, and is that how you see the rest of your working life?
Yeah, you know what? That's what I love about life, and it's easier early in your career because everything's a surprise. As you go along, it's harder to get surprised, but it's the most fun to me is to be surprised with life, and that's always something I'm looking for. Is a nice surprise. It's something that's special. That's why that's
Like this exhibition.
absolutely. You know, it's not something that I sought out to do or said, oh, I'd love to have a exhibition somewhere. It came to me, and here it is. And so that's an amazing surprise, you know. And so I've been quite lucky with surprises lately.
Tim Burton, thanks for talking with us.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
And the exhibition will run in Melbourne until October. That's the program for tonight. We'll be back at the same time. Over for now. Good night.
Go and see it. It'll be amazing. Yeah. Bye.